Say no to GMO! Say no to GMO! Say no to GMO!
Protest was held in Abuja today, the 29th of April 2021 by Health of Mother Earth Foundation, HOMEF, tag urgent need to ban genetically modified crops in Nigeria and to repeal the National Biosafety Management Agency Act. When addressing the press, Mrs. Jackie Ikotonye, COO, Bifa Food and Health Limited, says what she found strange in terms of food modification in Nigeria is that they don't eat the kind of food the Westerners consume, like apple, peaches, and many other, but rather Nigerians mostly consume food like rice, cassava, beans, and many more. However, she also noted that GMOs mostly take gene from animals and put in a plant, and this goes against the nature. Mrs. Jackie Ikotonye called on government at all levels to call the attention of the National Biosafety Agency to order, saying that they have misled Nigerians, including the government.
But that's not what we have with the issue of genetically modified foods. We've had the National Biosafety Management Agency telling us, oh, they are safe, they are safe, they are safe. On what basis did we arrive at that? You said you have done studies. Can we see the long-term studies you have done to show us, okay, that these foods you are giving, that they are safe? Now, for me personally, what I find a bit strange and kind of irritating is that in terms of modification of foods in Nigeria, they didn't even start with all these Oyibo foods, apple, peaches, grapes and all that. You started with the staple foods. I mean, even the foods that the poor of the poor eat. The corn, or the maize, the beans, the rice, the, what are they? The cotton, our cassava, our staple foods. So what exactly is the intention? What exactly is the plan? Now, a lot of people do not even understand what genetic modification is. You know, sometimes they are now beginning to confuse us, saying that they are hybrids. No, in hybrid, in hybrid modification, you take, you can combine a plant that is not doing well with a plant that is doing well. I'm just using layman's terms so that the ordinary man can understand. If I have corn that is not doing well, I can take gene from corn that is doing well and combine it so that I can have a better yield. That is what happens in hybrid. But in genetic modification, transgenic modification, which these people are doing, they take gene from an animal and put in a plant. And this goes against nature. So no matter what anybody says that these things doesn't have any effect on the human body, yes, people that are sick, you will not necessarily trace their sickness, their kidney problems, their cancer, their arthritis, their chronic diseases to the fact that they are eating genetically modified foods. But the truth is that you are what you eat. And if we have a very high incidence of these diseases now in Nigeria, some of like even in situations where they shouldn't occur, you have children about 11-year-olds, 14-year-olds having high blood pressure, and you think that's okay. No, you are what you eat. So I think we need to build stronger institutions, stronger systems that will actually protect our food sector. Because the way National Biosafety Management Agency and their allies are going, it's as if, okay, whether you like it or not, we're going ahead with this. You know, I want to wax a little bit spiritual. You know, if you read the Bible from Genesis up to Revelation, the Bible tells us, it keeps saying, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. But when it got to Revelation 22:11, it says, let the one that is stealing continue stealing. Let the one that is lying continue lying. The same way, we get to a point where you say to people, you have been telling them, watch what you're eating, read labels and all that. And some people will tell you, something go kill man now. Okay, no problem. Continue eating. You're the one that's going to get sick. But the truth is this, because this thing is coming from government, from an agency of government, there's a tendency, because they have the resources at their disposal, to do all the awareness, not awareness about telling people what GMOs are. No, they are telling people GMOs are safe. They have released a lot of, they said, like the beans, for example. Beans, they said they have been doing that for the past 10 years. Meanwhile, when we talked about the beans, they denied it. But the day they were launching the GMO beans, they said the research has been on for 10 years. So the same way, they will come out 10 years later and tell us, oh, we didn't say this. So Nigerians, what I'm encouraging people to do, take your health in your hands. The destiny of your health is your responsibility. Do not put it into the hands of anybody. Now, you look at the effect of this on the farmers. We were told some years back that farmers who are planting GMO, they are going to be billionaires, they are going to be millionaires in dollars and all that. Please, I work with farmers, and a whole lot of them. I'm yet to see the farmers that are billionaires and millionaires, except the briefcase farmers we have all over the whole place. The genuine farmers are not yet millionaires in dollars as they were promised. Now, you ask yourself, what is the implication of this? The GMO seeds are not replantable. So that means the farmers who are planting them, they're going to be buying these seeds every year. And from who? Who are the people selling the seeds? So these are things we need to look at. We are also encouraging government. If you insist you're going to go ahead with the GMO modification and GMO business and all that, fine, that's your business. But the truth is this, we must find a way of saving our natural seeds. We have a right to do that. The National Seed Council, I don't know what they're doing. Where are we saving our natural seeds? Because the truth is this, if we do not save our natural seeds, we are going to wake up one day and discover that every food we are eating in Nigeria is genetically modified. So the government, this is a democratic administration. This is a democratic system that we're running. So the way we eat and what we eat also needs to be democratic. I have to be able to decide what I want to eat. Now, another thing I encourage Nigerians to do is to read labels. That also has its own challenges. Reading labels can only work for those who go to big shops and all that to buy things. How do you expect the woman selling akara by the roadside to label her beans that it is GMO? How do you expect the one selling corn by the roadside to label her corn that it is GMO or non-GMO? So we have a long way to go. Some of us in this country, we have a way of rushing into things, rushing into businesses, rushing into programs that we yet do not understand. I want to tell us as a people that Nigeria is not yet ripe for genetically modified foods. So we are encouraging our government, put this on hold. The problem of our farmers is not a lack of food or they don't have enough seeds or improved seeds. No. Most of our farmers, their problems are lack of access to infrastructure, storage systems. When they grow their foods, like during COVID, a lot of farmers suffered heavy losses. They don't have where to store their foods. Some of the women who are planting, they don't have land. So these are some of the real life challenges that they are facing. Their problem is not how to give them genetically modified foods, because some of these farmers you're giving GMO today free of charge. In the next 5-6 years, are they going to keep buying the seeds? Will they have the money to buy the seeds? Right now, Nigerian beans cannot go out of the country. A lot of people think it's just because of high pesticide use. You cannot carry GMO beans into Europe. Go and ask anybody. So what are we talking about? So where will farmers sell these foods that we're growing here that will make them billionaires in dollars, billionaires in pounds and all that? These are things we need to look at. Nigeria, we are towing the wrong path. We don't need to run into all this. You can take time to continue to investigate, but don't bring this into the market. People will go into the market, they don't know which one is GMO beans, they don't know which one is non-GMO beans. We have a right to know. If you insist on going into genetic modification, then also do due diligence to differentiate. The NABMA people, when you come on air with all the money you have to advertise your GMOs, tell Nigerians, okay, this is how GMO beans looks like, this is how non-GMO beans looks like, this is how GMO cassava looks like, this is how non-GMO cassava looks like. Everybody, any trader selling things should be proud enough to sell their goods. If the people promoting GMO in Nigeria are not proud enough to show Nigerians, okay, this is GMO, this is non-GMO, then there's something sinister behind it. There's nothing to hide. If your product is good, sell it, be bold enough to sell it. If your product is not good, then why are you giving it to us? You want to turn us to guinea pigs. So these are things we need to look at, and I want to encourage the government. We want to appeal to you. Call National Biosafety Management Agency to order. They have lied to Nigerians and they have lied to the government, because they come out with this impression, oh, government said, government said. Government at what level? There are 3 levels of government in Nigeria. So which one is saying? Which is the one feeding Nigerians with GMO food and poisons?
To GMOs is what we call agroecology. Agroecology is a system of agriculture that works with nature instead of against it. Agroecology empowers the farmers who are at the center of food production. Agroecology is both a science, a practice, and a movement. As a science, it studies the interrelation of all the components of different ecosystems. What that means is that it's conceptual. You don't just bring a practice, you don't just bring an idea that is applicable in the US, for example, and want to impose it on farmers in Nigeria. Our ecological system is different. Our socio-economic system is different. So agroecology takes into consideration the concept of a particular place, what is applicable in that place. And also agroecology is innovative. It's not just an old woman's way of producing food. Agroecology combines traditional knowledge with the reality currently and also scientific innovation. And it has been proven to ensure increased productivity, optimum productivity, sustainability for the farmers, and it's also important in ensuring resilience to climate change impact. So sometimes the promoters of GMOs tell us, oh, climate change impacts are here, pests and diseases are disturbing our farmers, the land is so dry and farmers are not able to produce food. The truth is that agroecology have practices that addresses these issues. For instance, there are biological pest control measures that if our farmers are trained to use, they'll be able to overcome the impacts of pests and diseases without jeopardizing our ecosystems, jeopardizing our futures with GMOs.
First of all, I believe we are aware that the act came into being in 2015, and that was signed by the last administration. That's former President Goodluck Jonathan. However, there are several lacunas in the act, several issues with the act, which won't be for the benefit of the general public, and it's going to cause further harm to the society at large if not addressed immediately. It's the issues ranges from the discretionary powers to the right of appeal to the conflict of interest and to even the standard of liability in the act. There are various others, but because of time, I'll just talk about one or two, and before we call it a day. So basically, let me talk on the issue of conflict of interest. And if we talk of the issue of conflict of interest, we should avert our mind to section 10 of the National Biosafety Act, which talks about the National Biosafety Development Agency, National Biosafety Development Agency, which is calling a promoter of the genetically modified organism or genetically modified food or what have you. So they are also part of the National Biosafety Agency, which are what core regulators of things like of GMO and things like what risk assessment. We find out that it is obviously a conflict of interest even to a layman, because you have individuals who are promoting a subject, and those individuals promoting a subject are also part and parcel of an agent of the agency which are going to regulate that subject they are promoting. Obviously, you know that they are going to do whatever they will have to do in their best interest. So that is where I find fault in the act. That's section 10.
Michael Chidi, reporting for GTV Africa, Abuja.